And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, a Monday night reaction show. Paul Farrington joined by Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia. You know, we enjoy doing these reaction shows just because it's right after the game. Everyone's all full of their emotions. And the Packers-Giants, Ziggy, was just, as much emotion as you can get in a football game. 24-22, the Giants stunned Green Bay. We'll start with the Packers because we know we have a lot of Packers fans on this channel somehow, even though we're Vikings fans. Packers fans have been great to us so far, and we appreciate all their feedback and the comments that they leave us. It's very nice. So it really is unfortunate, and they're kind of messing with us in a way because I do feel bad for them to some degree, even though inside, obviously, I root against Green Bay all the time. But this just felt like one of those games, and we see it a lot with the Vikings. We know it better than anyone, where just everything is going against you. And you can't really seem to ever get going, catch a break, fumbles, they can't convert their opportunities into touchdowns. But here we were with the Packers, the blue sky franchise, as we call them. Saquon Barkley nearly hands them the game at the end and takes a Tommy DeVito led drive to win it for the Giants in the end. So what was your first takeaway from the Packers in a night where Jordan Love really struggled, and we hadn't seen that in a while?
There was every single thing went wrong. And it's unfortunate for them that this happened against the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NFL, because if anything went right for them, they win this game, right? The defense, Tommy DeVito came into this game of 28 sacks in 5 games. The Packers sacked him 0 times. The offense, they got opportunity after opportunity and couldn't move the ball. The special teams, it looked like it was 2021 out there. If you just don't try and field that punt, the game is over, right? So I think Jordan Love actually in crunch time, he sort of showed up. He threw a couple of balls that really could have been go-ahead touchdowns if his weapons were in, if things went a little bit better. So I don't think that Packers fans necessarily need to panic in terms of long-term, but you're trying to make the playoffs. This was a totally winnable game, and it just stinks to watch the coaching and the players all melt down in a game that you just have to win.
I mean, I was watching throughout the game. I was taking notes on certain drives, and right off the bat, you could tell that Jordan Love was not particularly on. And over this winning streak that Green Bay has had, he's looked like one of the better quarterbacks in the league, not just a viable starting quarterback, but someone that you could look to for the future. And not saying that that's not the case anymore at all. It's just one bad game. It was a very windy day here in New Jersey as well. You heard them talk about that on the broadcast. I live 30 minutes away from the stadium all day long. Planes are getting delayed. You could hear it outside. Trees are going crazy. So just not also a great night to throw the football. But Jordan Love was off. And that happens. He's still a young quarterback. Giants on Monday Night Football. That defense can be pesky at times. Wink Martindale, we know how much he likes to blitz. That can mess up a quarterback's rhythm. So I'm not panicking at all. If I were a Packers fan, which, again, be very clear, we are not Packers fans. But if I were a Packers fan, I'm not too worried about this performance lingering. I think that you just got caught on a bad night. And you look ahead here, you still got Tampa Bay at home, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Bears. That should be at least 3-1, you're hoping, if you're a Packers fan. And that should be enough to get you into the playoffs. Are you concerned at all with Green Bay going forward?
You have to be a little bit after this game. It's just unfortunate to watch everything melt down. And I don't think there's too much to worry about, right? Unless you're one of the best teams in the NFL, you're just going to have a game or two where things go wrong and don't go your way.
Yeah.
This was just that game for the Packers. Well, Fleur said it's going to be a lesson for the team. That's what they need to walk away with. They need to take the right lessons, learn. And if they go 3-1, that would put them at 9-8. That should make the playoffs.
And it's funny watching this game here. It's the great teams in football a lot of times find their ways to win these where really you have no right coming away with a victory, but just something goes your way. And for Green Bay fans, something you could take away is, you said it earlier in the show, everything went wrong that could go wrong except for really the Barkley fumble and the punt earlier in the game. And you still were winning by 1 with a minute left in the game. So I do think that there are some positive takeaways, and Jordan Love going on that game-winning drive or near game-winning drive was a good one to have, because we've seen many times this year where he hasn't been able to get the job done. There's been a lot of games where he throws a pick on that last drive. This one, he led them on, what could have been the game-winning drive down the field. it just felt like one too many jet sweeps to to read in this game. They saw them get burnt for that on the 2-point conversion. They got cute with it on one of their other drives. Other than that, I do think that Green Bay here is going to look back on a missed opportunity to jump a game ahead of the Rams. But you know what? Like we said, it does happen.
All I'm saying is people are making a big deal out of this LaFleur December winning record. I don't know if you've seen this. People are saying he's 16-0 in December. He's handed his first loss. So I went back and took a look. They were only dogs in 3 of those games. In 7 of them, they were over 8-point favorites. So it's not as though he was like bringing out a lot of tough loss or a lot of tough victories. So, you know, I'm always excited to see meaningless streaks get broken. I'm always excited to see the Packers suffer, even if it's just for one night, right? The objective analysis, how it was on, I think they're going to be fine. But tonight, the Vikings are back in playoff position, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, formerly a 16-0 record is a nice benefit of having Aaron Rodgers. And one thing to mention, though, that Packers fans are probably going to talk about, Christian Watson didn't play in this game, too. So you're down one of your better players on the offensive side of the ball. That has to be taken into account with how the offense looked. But I'm not worrying about this at all. That's my final takeaway. You know, bad game, nightmare game, happens on the road. Very fortunate to have the schedule you have going forward. And look, if you want to make the playoffs, go beat Tampa Bay. Go beat the Vikings. Go beat the Bears, who are sort of like playing around with a playoff spot as well at the moment. That's where I'm at here. So we'll wrap up this side of it, the Packer reaction here.